Welcome back to the Cynthia Clark Book Club. We are reading Chapter 6 of The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. If you don't have a copy of the book, that is okay because you can get a free PDF from my website. Go to CynthiaClarkBookClub.com. That's CynthiaClarkBookClub.com. And scroll down on the home page and click on the image of the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, and it will load a PDF, and you can print it out if you want to, like I did right here. This is just chapter 6 right here. Or you can read it from, on your device, on your computer. So, I'm excited because this is I've been doing videos for over a year, but this is the first video that I'm actually editing. I love YouTube. I went to YouTube and saw a tutorial on how to edit videos. So what I would do before is I would just go from beginning to end, all mistakes and all, and record and just upload those videos, which is fine. But I decided that I want to add some things in. My music was kind of janky. I recorded my music on a digital recorder, and then I would play it in the beginning of the video, and when it cut off you could hit the beep, all that other stuff. So anyway, I'm trying to get more professional with my videos. So this is the first one that I'm actually editing, so we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about that. So anyway, this is how the book club works. I basically read books in the public domain, metaphysical books in the public domain, and then I post them on Facebook and YouTube. And if there's something in the book, in the chapter, or in the video that you want to comment on, you just comment and we can have a dialogue. Otherwise, I'll just do one of my favorite things, which is read anyway. I love to read, so I'm just doing it into a webcam. And at some point, I know that I will connect with people like me that enjoy reading these types of books, and we can have dialogue. So anyway, if you want to comment, just post a comment and we can have a conversation. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started reading, and this is how it goes. I just read. This is a short book. It has very short chapters. I'm going to read and give my 2 cents, my comments about what I'm reading, and that's it. I post it. If you comment, we'll have a dialogue and just kind of go from there. So here goes. This is chapter 6 of The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And I really need reading glasses, but I'm trying my best not to have to put on my reading glasses while I read this. I'm trying to look cute. So anyway, here goes. Chapter 6 is entitled, How Riches Come to You. When I say that you do not have to drive sharp bargains, I do not mean that you do not have to drive any bargains at all, or that you are above the necessity for having any dealings with your fellow men. I mean that you will not need to deal with them unfairly. You do not have to get something for nothing, but can give to every person more than you take from him. You cannot give everyone more in cash market value than you take from him, but you can give him more in use value than the cash value of the thing you take from him. For instance, the paper, ink, and other material in this book may not be worth the money you pay for it, but if the ideas suggested by it bring you thousands of dollars, you have not been wronged by those who sold it to you. They have given you a great use value for a small cash value. And I like to emphasize value, that in business you want to add value. Let's keep going. Let us suppose that I own a picture by one of the great artists, which in a developed society is worth thousands of dollars. I take it to Bath and Bay and by salesmanship induce a native dweller to give a bundle of furs worth $500 for it. I have really wronged him, for he has no use value for the picture. It has no use value to him. It will not add to his life. Okay, time out. This book was written back in the early 1900s, so some of the examples are dated, but the message is still very clear. So anyway, let's keep going. But suppose I give him a gun worth $50 for his furs. Then he has made a good bargain. He has use for the gun. It will get him many more furs and much food. It will add to his life in every way. It will make him rich. When you rise from the competitive to the creative plane, you can scan your business transactions very strictly. And if you are selling any person anything which does not add more to his life than the thing he gives in exchange, you can afford to stop it. You do not have to beat anybody in business. And if you are in a business which does beat people, get out of it at once. Time out. When I think about this, it makes me think of who you partner with in business, how important that is. And personal experience for me is I actually was partnered with someone that felt like they needed to, they just felt like they needed to cheat people in order to get ahead. And it's just like they couldn't get it in their mind that if you just serve people, if you add value to people, then value comes back to you. And so I had to get out of that business relationship with that person. I will not get in a business relationship with someone with shysty energy. It's just not worth it. So when I read this, it makes me think of that person. In fact, this dude says that, I'm going to read that again. When you rise from the competitive and competing with other people and just become a creative person, you can scan your business transactions very strictly. And if you are selling any person anything which does not add value to his or her life, then the thing he gives in exchange, you can afford to stop it. You do not have to beat anybody in business. And if you are in a business which does beat people, get out of it at once. Let's keep going. Give everyone more in use value than you take from him in cash value. Then you are adding to the life of the world by every business transaction. If you have people working for you, you must take from them more in cash value than you pay them in wages. But you can so organize your business that it will be filled with the principle of advancement, and so that each employee who wishes to do so may advance a little every day. Now, when I read that, some people may be saying, wait a minute, did he just say you must take from them more in cash value than you pay them in wages? Yes. So, for instance, let's say you're a hairstylist and you're doing someone's hair, and you put $20 worth of product in their hair. It doesn't make sense for you to just charge them $20. You got to charge more so you make a profit. So that's what he means, that you gotta. Why the hell be in business if you're not going to make a profit unless you're a non-profit? So that's what he's saying. However, he's saying that you can set your business up in such a way that like if you have employees, they can get ahead. So anyway, let's keep going. You can make your business do for your employees what this book is doing for you. You can so conduct your business that it will be a sort of ladder by which every employee who will take the trouble may climb to riches himself or herself. And given the opportunity, if he or she will not do so, it is not your fault. And finally, just because you are to cause the creation of your riches from formless substance which permeates all your environment, it does not follow that they are to take shape from the atmosphere and come into being before your eyes. Let me read that again. And finally, just because you are to cause the creation of your riches from formless substance which permeates all your environment, it does not follow that they are to take shape from the atmosphere and come into being before your eyes. For instance, if you want a sewing machine, I do not mean to tell you that you are to impress the thought of a sewing machine on thinking substance until the machine is formed without hands in the room where you sit or elsewhere. But if you want a sewing machine, hold the mental image of it with the most positive certainty that it is being made or is on its way to you. After once forming the thought, have the most absolute and unquestioning faith that the sewing machine is coming. Never think of it or speak of it in any other way than as being sure to arrive. Claim it as already yours. It will be brought to you by the power of the supreme intelligence acting upon the minds of men. If you live in Maine, it may be that a person will be brought from Texas or Japan to engage in some transaction which will result in your getting what you want. If so, the whole matter will be as much to that person's advantage as it is to yours. Wow. I love it. I love this part of the book because it's saying that you focus your attention on something. Like the sewing machine. It's not going to be a poof, like just right in your face that the sewing machine is going to appear. However, your thoughts kind of activates things that will bring that sewing machine to you. You don't know how it's going to happen, but just the fact that you have that thought, you focus on it, you believe that it's coming, you set shit in motion, and then it starts finding its way to you. Unless you start doubting that it's coming. That slows it up. And I know that for a certainty in my own life, not just with material things or inanimate objects, but with people as well. So when you want something and you focus on it, it starts making its way to you. You don't necessarily see it, but you just got to trust that it's coming. So anyway, let's keep going. Let me get back to the book. Do not forget for a moment that the thinking substance is through all, in all, communicating with all, and can influence all. He calls it the thinking substance. And every time I read this book, he talks about this thinking substance. It makes me think about the Force in Star Wars. So anyway, back to the book. The desire of thinking substance for further life and better living has caused the creation of all the sewing machines already made. And it can cause the creations of millions more. And will, whenever people set it in motion by desire and faith, and by acting in a certain way. Let me read that again. The desire of thinking substance for the fuller life and better living has caused the creation of all the sewing machines already made, and it can cause the creation of millions more. and will, whenever people set it in motion by desire and faith and by acting in a certain way. You can certainly have a sewing machine in your house, and it is just as certain that you can have any other thing or things which you want and which you will use for the advancement of your own life and the lives of others. You need not hesitate about asking largely. It is your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom, said Jesus. Whenever I read these books and they talk about the Father or Jesus, I always let people know that I am not religiously oriented. However, I understand the point of view, but I kind of dig just like the metaphysical, scientific side of it more than the mythological side of it. So I always let people know as I'm reading and I come across things like that, just my view of those things. So anyway, let's keep going. Original substance wants to live all that is possible in you and wants you to have all that you can use and will use for the living of the most abundant life. If you fix upon your consciousness the fact that your desire for the possession of riches is one with the desire of the supreme power for more complete expression, your faith becomes invincible. Once I saw a little boy sitting at a piano, vainly trying to bring harmony out of the keys. I saw that he was grieved and provoked by his inability to play real music. I asked him the cause of his vexation, and he answered, I can feel the music in me, but I can't make my hands go right. The music in him was the urge of original substance containing all the possibilities of all life. All that there is of music was seeking expression through the child. God, the one substance, is trying to live and do and enjoy things through humanity. He is saying, I want hands to build wonderful structures, to play divine harmonies, to paint glorious pictures. I want feet to run my errands, eyes to see my beauties, tongues to tell mighty truths, and to sing marvelous songs, and so on. Okay, so it talked about God, and just from my perspective, there is no God outside of self as far as I am concerned. Is there power? Yes. Is it a personified big dude in the sky lording over me? No, that's not my idea of God. However, when I think of God, I think of each individual being their own God. So anyway, let's keep going. All that there is of possibility is seeking expression through people. God wants those who can play music to have pianos and every other instrument, and to have the means to cultivate their talents to the fullest extent. He or she, another thing I do when I read these books, if the deity is male, then for balance I'll say he or she. So anyway, she wants those who can appreciate beauty. I'm going to read that again. God wants those who can play music to have pianos and every other instrument, and to have the means to cultivate their talents to the fullest. She wants those who can appreciate beauty to be able to surround themselves with beautiful things. She wants those who can discern truth to have every opportunity to travel and observe. He or she wants those who can appreciate dress to be beautifully clothed, and those who can appreciate good food to be luxuriously fed. She wants all those things because it is herself that enjoys and appreciates them. They are her creation. It is God who wants to play and sing and enjoy beauty and proclaim truth and wear fine clothes and eat good food. It is God that worketh in you to will and to do, said the Apostle Paul. The desire you feel for riches is the infinite seeking to express himself or herself in you as he or she sought to find expression in the little boy at the piano. So you need not hesitate to ask largely. Your part is to your part is to focus on and express that desire to God or Goddess. This is a difficult point with most people. They retain something of the old idea that poverty and self-sacrifice are pleasing to God. They look upon poverty as a part of the plan, a necessity of nature. They look upon poverty as a part of the plan, a necessity of nature. They have the idea that God has finished her work and made all that she can make, and that the majority of people must stay poor because there is not enough to go around. They hold to so much of this erroneous thought that they feel ashamed to ask for wealth. They try not to want more than a very modest competence, just enough to make them fairly comfortable. I recall now the case of one student who was told that he must get in mind a clear picture of the thing he desired, so that the creative thought of them might be impressed on formless substance. He was a very poor man, a rented house, and having only what he earned from day to day. And he could not grasp the fact that all wealth was his. This is a state of mind, and it's a state of mind that I had gotten into and am working my way out of. And so it's good for me to read books like this to help me not fall back in that state. So anyway, let's keep reading about this poor man. So after thinking the matter over, he decided that he might reasonably ask for a new rug for the floor of his best room and a coal stove to heat the house during the cold weather. Following the instructions given in this book, he obtained these things in a few months. And then it dawned upon him that he had not asked enough. He went through the house in which he lived and planned all the improvements he would like to make in it. He mentally added a bay window here and a room there until it was complete in his mind as his ideal home. And then he planned its furnishings. Holding the whole picture in his mind, he began living in a certain way and moving toward what he wanted. And he owns the house now and is rebuilding it after the form of his mental image. Imagination is so key. And now, with larger faith, he is going on to get greater things. It has been unto him according to his faith. And so it is with you and with all of us. Okay, so that is chapter 6. I will go ahead and post chapter 7. You can go and look at previous videos at my website, CynthiaClarkBookClub.com. I read these chapters in these books. I read these books. I implement them in my life, and as I implement them and I grow and I learn, then I chronicle what the changes that are taking place in my life. I chronicle them in a memoir series that I am writing. So on my website you'll see my book, Sense Metaphysical Journey to Millionaires. If you like, you can go to the bookstore on my website and get a copy. I'm working on part 2, which will be out May 2015. But as I read, I implement these things in my life, and I chronicle them in my memoir series, Sense Metaphysical Journey to Millionaires. If you have any comments, go ahead and post them on Facebook or on YouTube, and we can have a dialogue. Thanks for listening and following along. Bye.